Welcome to the Risk Forever channel guys, the channel which shares the most relevant tips and tricks on how to win at Risk, and improve your rank in no time. Subscribe to the channel and you won't even see how fast you will become so much better at Risk. Push that notification bell to see new videos first. This is your host Champion Ever, and today we are playing 4-player fixed card game on classic Risk map. Settings, Alliance is on. Balance blitz dice rolls in 60 seconds per turn. This time I'm playing against one master rank player who is blue, and even two grandmaster rank players who are purple and yellow. This is the game with my subscribers. As always, wish me best of luck guys, as I will definitely need it today. Select one of the players and root for them. May the best player win. So as you can see, the blue player captured Australia, the purple player is going for Europe, the yellow player is going for Africa, and I'm going for South America. And even though I made an alliance with the yellow player, I don't want to be in rush. He keeps his biggest army next to my border, so who knows? Maybe he just waits for a moment when I clear out South America, so he captures it for himself, especially if he has a set at 3 cards. So I'm just trying to play very carefully. I wouldn't like to get eliminated in the beginning of the game. Or you know what guys, let's forget South America, let's go for North America instead. So instead of getting 2 extra troops, I will get even 5. If I captured South America first, then I don't know if the purple player would have let me to expand to North America. So instead of thinking whether the purple player starts building an army in Greenland to prevent me of capturing North America, I decided to straightly capture North America, and very likely to hold it, since having only one continent, the players aren't going to target me as much. And yeah guys, I see it's a very good situation for me to have North America right now. 2 weakest players, blue and yellow, are fighting each other it seems. Meanwhile I and purple will be able to grow strong, getting 5 extra troops each. So blue and yellow, instead of targeting each other, would better team up on me or purple, one of the strongest players. As in case if they won't, then one of them will be eliminated first, and it doesn't even matter whether they will be fighting each other or not. As after multiple turns me and purple will be much stronger than them, so one of us could eliminate one of these weakest players out, eventually when the right time comes. Or I mean unless if I and purple will be fighting each other. But personally I don't want to fight with purple and rather prefer that either yellow or blue would get eliminated from the game first guaranteedly. I mean the purple player additionally captured South America, so he will be getting 2 troops more than me, so not a great deal for me to start fighting with him when the balance of the game is sustained. And when 2 other players are in the potential danger, I'm probably safe. And I guess the purple player probably wouldn't like to fight with me too. Even though he gets 2 troops more than me, the main continent he holds is Europe, the continent which even has 4 borders and is extremely hard to hold if you don't have alliance with other players. So the purple player probably knows what if he starts attacking me, then he would need to say a goodbye for Europe. So I think we both understand the mutual benefit and we'll just wait till one of us could afford taking one of the weakest players out. It's better to be guaranteed that one of these weakest players will be taken out first, rather than to risk by starting a conflict with each other and have the chances to get eliminated first as well. Well, I'm not too sure about purple, as he is trying to increase the troop bonus he gets by capturing lots of additional territories including mine. The yellow player sent me an attack request to attack purple, additionally sending the thumbs up emoji, and I sent him the thumbs emoji back that I agree, but all what I've done is recaptured some of the territories back from purple. The yellow player probably wanted that I would have attacked purple into one of his continents, but I can never know how serious players can be. As let's say I invade the purple player, so the purple player starts attacking me, while the yellow player doesn't invade the purple player at all and doesn't help me. So in that case I would have just done the dirty work for another player while totally ruining the situation for myself, since I wouldn't be able to hold North America anymore after being enemies with purple when nobody helps me to attack him. So after seeing that the yellow player isn't that actually serious about attacking purple, as he didn't invade purple into the continent, and just captured some purple's territories like me instead, I'm not going to invade purple into his continent either. It's too risky for me to attack the purple player first, as I don't know whether the yellow player would actually start attacking the purple player as well. I assume probably the yellow player would just like to use me in order that I and purple would just start conflict with each other, so we both or at least one of us would definitely ruin our good positions. While the yellow player could just continue turtling in Africa as he was. Well, who knows? Maybe the yellow player actually wanted to team up with me to start attacking purple into his continents for real, but I think it's much more likely that he wanted to trick me to attack purple and start fighting with him, while he wouldn't help me at all. As I mean, it's very obvious that if he attacks purple into Europe, then the purple player would invade him back very easily into his unguarded Africa, so yellow probably would be with no continent at all. So it is one more reason to assume that the yellow player isn't being very genuine about his attack request and looks only for his own benefit from it. So no way I'm attacking the purple player first, when I'm one of the strongest players while yellow and blue are the weakest and very likely one of them being eliminated first. I don't want to start attacking purple and equalize mine and purple's troops with yellow and blue, so we all would be equally strong like in the beginning of the game once again. So then we would need to wait many additional troops to one of the players becoming much stronger than the weakest player to eliminate the weakest player from the game once again. And who knows, maybe being the weakest player by myself, so better not to risk, when I certainly know that either me or purple will be able to eliminate either blue or yellow from the game. Well, I could take the yellow player's attack request seriously and attack the purple player into one of his continents, let's say Europe. What's the benefit would be for me if I'm still be able to hold North America somehow, like the purple player being very passive and refusing to invade me back. In this way I would become the strongest player having quite good troops advantage against the second strongest player. But there would be no way that I would have more troops than all of the players combined anyways, so in the end I would still need to take one of them out, as otherwise the game would become a stalemate, as obviously none of these players would fight each other while me being quite stronger. In other words, I'm not playing against dumb rookies who would attack each other when it's not needed at all, at the same time giving the advantage for the strongest player, making him get an easy win. So what I'm saying is that I will still need to take one of them out anyways, in order for the game to continue. And now, what would be the risk for me if I invade purple into one of his continents? He invades me back, while the yellow player not helping me to attack purple at all and just laughing in his mind that I was so naive about his attack request. First of all, my number of troops can be equalized with other players, meaning that I wouldn't be safe anymore to not get the last place, or even worse scenario happening, me not only having as many troops as other players, but start having no continent at all, meaning that I will become the weakest player who gets eliminated first. But now, let's assume I don't accept yellow's request to attack purple. What's the benefit for me? Well, first of all, I'm staying absolutely sure that I won't be the first player to get eliminated and actually will be able to eliminate the weakest player by myself. And whether I or purple player takes the weakest player out, I'm assured that I won't get the last place. And now, what is the risk for me if I don't accept the yellow player's request to attack purple? Probably nothing. As you can see, I didn't attack purple into any of his continents and nothing happened. So the worst case scenario what could happen for me is the yellow player breaking the alliance with me, which to me at this point of the game means nothing. And if he gets extremely angry or so, then I could just take him out instead of blue. That's it. To sum up everything, it isn't worth for me to attack the purple player at all, as in the best case scenario I will become the strongest but never having as many troops as other players combined, so I will need to take one of out them anyways in order for the game to continue, as I certainly know that they won't start crushing each other troops like dumb rookies would do. So the action of me attacking purple into his continents would give me no benefit at all, but would definitely bring some risks to worsen my position quite much, and even the risk of getting eliminated first if the circumstances turned out to be very unfavored. Anyways, as you saw, the blue player sent me an alliance request, which for me at this point of the game looks like a begging to not take him out, and that's it. That's not a mutually beneficial alliance which would be good for both of the players, or is not an agreement to not attack into each other continents. It's just a blue player's prayer to not take him out. But the destiny has been already decided for him. He isn't as strong as yellow anymore. By skipping some turns and not attacking a territory per turn, he became quite weaker than yellow. Oh, and also the fact that his Australia gives 1 troop less than yellow's Africa. So in order for me to not break the balance of the game accidentally, I have to go with the option to eliminate the weaker player, who in this case scenario is blue. And also another fact which makes me to take the blue player rather than yellow, is that I see that the blue player is passive and scared that he doesn't even attack a territory per turn, so if I take the yellow player out instead of him, then who knows if he actually helped me to deal with the purple player, as purple will be quite stronger than us, so we would need to team up for a while to take down purple's troop advantage. That could be very possible that the blue player would just continue turtling in Australia doing nothing, or finally starting attacking a territory per turn to get a card, while not teaming with me and letting the purple player dominating the game. Well, who knows, maybe he would actually help. But when talking about yellow, I know that he would team up against the strongest player for sure if needed. I played with him before, so I know that he wouldn't let the strongest player dominate the game so easily. So taking both of these things into the account, especially the first one, as I would be very afraid to ruin the balance of the game if I decided to take out yellow, I came with the decision to take out the blue player out as the 4th player who is not necessarily needed in order for the balance of the game to be sustained. So goodbye blue, it was fun to play with you. After taking the blue player out, he said that I suicided on him. But I actually did that. Suiciding is more about then by your attack you totally ruin the game for yourself and that player, or like when you drastically ruin the balance of the game. But as you can see in this situation, nothing of these have happened. The balance of the game is sustained. The purple player even though is the strongest, but he doesn't have the same number of troops as I and yellow combined, and I'm staying alive having pretty much the same chances to win as any other player. I'm the weakest, but that doesn't matter, as the balance of the game can be sustained, and all the player troops can be equalized. So in this case, saying that I suicided on blue is basically the same as saying to the player who took you out for your cards in progressive card game that he suicided on you. That would be just ridiculous. Just the difference between the progressive and fixed cards is that in progressive you take players out when it's worth for their cards, and doing so you increase your advantage, and in fixed you take out players when you see that they are not needed in the game, when you see that you can afford taking them out without ruining the game. How do you suppose to win a game without taking anyone out? That's impossible when it comes to the world domination game mode. If players in a fixed card game were just be turtling in their continents and not taking someone out or even not attacking each other, then it would be impossible for someone to win the game. We could say the game ended up in a stalemate situation, but usually there are not a stalemate situation. It's just either the strongest players refuse to fight each other, or the strongest player is refusing to take the weakest player out. So in this case other players cannot really do anything, besides teaming up on the strongest player who is refusing to do anything. But sometimes teaming up is just impossible, like if the strongest player properly guards all of his borders. So usually in order to prevent stalemates of happening, the strongest player should take the weakest player out. Quite often there will be a player who only has small continent and isn't that strong comparing to others at all, or sometimes there will be a player who doesn't even have any continent. So if in a 4-player fixed card game players are only turtling in their continents, refusing to fight each other and don't have an opportunity to expand, then in such cases the strongest player should take the weakest player out in order for the game to continue. This is the first step to prevent the stalemates from happening. So if you're in a game when the strongest player is just turtling and doesn't do anything even after multiple turns, in a game where players are not dumb rookies to fight each other when it's not needed at all, then I can just feel so sorry for you. The strongest player is keeping you all in a stalemate. But if in a such situation you're the strongest player by yourself, then you will know what to do now. Like in this game, being one of the strongest, I could have just continued building my troops without doing anything else like other players did. But what would have changed? Nothing. We would have still been in a such stalemate situation as we were before, and the only difference would have been in troops, instead of having hundreds of troops, eventually we would have started having thousands of troops. And it would have been just a waste of time. We would have had the same exact circumstances as we did, just the only difference being in troops. So if you're the strongest player and if you see that your opponents are not dumb rookies who would fight each other when it's not needed at all giving you advantage, then just take the weakest player out. But of course, before taking him out, make sure that you can afford it, that after taking him out, the balance of the game will still be sustained and that you will be able to survive. This tip when being the strongest player is mostly applies to 4-player fixed card games, as for example in a 6-player fixed card game, you could probably take the weakest player out by being the strongest, but that might make you the weakest player, so then the new strongest player could potentially take you out. So in a 6-player game is way much harder to prevent the stalemates from happening, as sometimes even the strongest players cannot really do anything without ruining the game for themselves. So this is one of the reasons why I prefer 4-player fixed card games over the 6-player ones, as way less likely they will end up in a stalemate situation. But if you play with low-ranked players, then 6-player fixed can be fun too. Anyways, how to prevent the stalemates when it comes to 3 players in a fixed card game? And the answer is, that all the players should attack each other, instead of turtling in their continents and refusing to fight or do something. In this situation the yellow player captured both of the Americas and the purple player Europe and Africa. They both were getting a lot of troops and were fine with each other, but that was really leading to the stalemate situation once again, with the circumstances after many turns being pretty much the same and the difference being in troops, in case nobody did anything. So by seeing where this situation would lead, I attacked both of them into their continents and got out of Australia. But the reason behind that wasn't only about preventing the stalemate situation from happening. Another reason for me doing that is because that in that stalemate situation I wouldn't have been the weakest player, as obviously by these players getting lots of troops while me having only Australia, eventually I would have been quite behind of them troop-wise. And it isn't the best thing to be the weakest player in a 3-player situation, as then the game is way less dependent on you. By being the weakest you don't have that many opportunities as other players, you cannot really expand. You should be extremely careful with your attacks and you're much more dependent of the decisions of the other players. So I didn't want that. My goal is to be at least as strong as others, along with looking for the opportunities to expand and get the advantage somehow against my opponents. As I know that they won't be dumb enough to crush way too many of each other troops like dumb rookies would do. This is the game with grandmasters. So this is why the turtling strategies don't work here. We all know about the balance of the game. We all know that it's stupid to fight someone crushing lots of each other troops while letting the third player get strong. So if we 3 were just turtling in our continents and doing nothing, then it would be impossible for someone to win. We could say the game ended up in a stalemate situation. But it's just bizarre to say that the game ended up in a stalemate situation in a 3-player fixed card game. In such case it can only be a stalemate when players are refusing to fight each other or do something else, when they refuse to look for opportunities, especially if they're the strongest. If in a 3-player situation the players don't just all the time turtling but actually attacking each other and looking for the opportunities to increase their advantage, then eventually one of the players would make a mistake towards the balance of the game and someone would win the game. So in a game with players who you know wouldn't be dumb to suicide on you or someone else, the way to win is by outsmarting them somehow. I tried increasing my advantage by capturing as many territories as possible, but that didn't work out as the yellow player was just recapturing them once and once again. So I tried to increase my advantage by invading yellow's Europe. But that didn't work out as well, as the yellow player in response was invading Africa, so with having South America only I was getting the same number of troops as purple. So with seeing that my opponent's armies were blocked, I realized that the way for me to increase my advantage is by additionally capturing North America. The yellow player tried to counter that by fortifying his army next to one of my borders, but that didn't work out for him as I fortified a lot of troops to that border too, meaning that if he crushes my army, then he just gives away the game for the purple player. So after me countering the yellow player's threat, The only person who could prevent me of having both of the Americas is purple. He finally stopped using the Australian turtle strategy and fortified his armies out from the blocked place, so we will see what he does. Well, his plan is obvious by now. As you can see, he went for Asia and properly guards all of his borders, while mine and yellow's biggest armies are facing each other being blocked. So I don't know how the game will continue. Eventually either me or purple will have to invade one other. Or wait, no, it's actually even better if the yellow player does all the dirty work for me. He fortified his biggest army next to purple's biggest army, and if he actually crushes it, then the balance of the game could be very likely broken in my favor. Well, okay, the purple player moved his army out of yellow's way, so the yellow player invaded Asia and took over Australia without troops waste. I kinda thought I won, but oh well. It seems now I will be fighting with purple while the yellow player will be just turtling in Australia. So yellow and purple are kinda swapped their positions. So since the yellow player is blocked, now I will have to find a way on how to outsmart the purple player and get the advantage by capturing and holding some continents once again. Alright, I know that I will do. Since the purple player did the same thing as yellow, I mean putting the biggest army next to mine and blocking both of them, I'm going to do the same thing with him as well. As you can see, the armies are just being in other place, but it doesn't prevent me of capturing and properly guarding some continents like in the case I had with yellow, just in this case capturing Africa and Europe instead of the Americas. But wow, the purple is sneaky, very sneaky player indeed. I know why he captured these territories next to yellow. He unleashed yellow's biggest army, so the yellow player would be able to invade me. Well, yeah, it's a smart tactic, I must admit. Well, the purple player could just capture Afghanistan territory and put his biggest army there, meaning that it would be impossible to counter his upcoming invasion since I would have been able to strengthen only one of the borders. But actually it was even better for the purple player that the dirty work has been done by yellow. But I'm just saying you that the purple player would have been able to do to counterattack me, in case the yellow player refused to attack me after his biggest army was unleashed from Australia by purple. Anyways, even though I cannot have multiple continents, I think I'm still in the best position so far. I have South America and prevent others of capturing Africa and North America. So the only continent the purple player could go for is Europe, but Europe has even 4 borders and always either me or yellow will be able to invade him. So I would say the purple player is in the worst position. The yellow player has a 2 troops continent is me, but the thing is that Australia is very isolated, so it's hard to expand having it, while South America gives many more opportunities to do something. Like currently I can capture and hold Africa while both of the players' biggest armies are being blocked. Well, I thought I would be able to hold it at least for 1 turn as the minimum, but how could I have forgotten the purple player's strategy, la. Well, thank God the yellow player didn't invade me by crushing one of my armies. So yeah, my troops has probably been saved. Now I can combine one of my armies to the North African one, and if the purple player invades me into Africa, then I will only lose 1 troop instead of 30 or 40. So yeah guys, the purple player is very smart but at the same time very sneaky by constantly unleashing yellow's army when I capture something. He doesn't really let me to expand, and that's quite bad. I cannot dominate the game easily as I thought I would. So I'm not sure what would be the best for me to do now, but I will keep coming with my plans, and hopefully I will prevail eventually somehow. For example, I'm planning on capturing both of the Americas once again. So yeah, let's do it guys. At the same time invading purple's Europe and yellow's Asia, I'm not letting them hold these continents. But oh wait, I realize purple's army isn't being blocked now, la. Rest in peace me. Well, he didn't attack me and that's actually good. The yellow player is the strongest right now, so actually he is the one who should waste the troops on me, not purple. And wow, the yellow player actually attacked me. Well, I will probably try to recapture them again, assuming the purple player doesn't move out to North America. In this turn I just captured Africa and moved an army in South America, so the purple player wouldn't capture it. As I don't want to move out from South America. It should be mine, so nobody would be able to capture both of the Americas besides me. So yeah, since the purple player blocked his army once again, I'm recapturing them for another time. I'm not attacking the purple player into Europe this time. I want to see if he lets me hold both of the Americas. If I don't invade him, then he maybe won't invade me as well. I don't know. We will see. The invasion into Africa is fine. My main goal is to successfully hold both of the Americas as of now. I noticed that the purple player is capturing one territory in Asia, while letting the yellow player do the dirty work to invade me into Africa. So what if I prevent the yellow player of accessing Africa? Will the purple let me hold it then? Wow, come on purple. You supposed to keep attacking territories in Asia. But oh well, it's better that the purple is invading Africa rather than unleashing yellow's biggest army. At least I can be happy about that. And OMG guys. The yellow player ran out of territories to attack, so he actually invaded purple into Europe. Lol. That's kinda bad that he fortified his biggest army into Europe though, meaning that he will probably go through my Americas once again. So to save as many troops as I can, I think it will be the best for me if I move my armies from the borders, and relocate myself to his Australia. I've been fighting both of them for quite a while now, so now it's my time to be the Australian turtle now. It's the time for them to show some action between themselves as well. Well, obviously I'm still going to invade them if they don't guard their borders properly. It's very convenient and safe for them to just put all of their troops into one big army, as they know that they won't lose a lot of troops unless they attack with their big armies by themselves. At the same time, the balance of the game can only be broken in their favor, since nobody will attack their biggest army if not suiciding. So if they want to put their troops to one big army, then that's fine, but in this case I'm going to invade any of your borders I can. I cannot let you grow strong when you just put yourself into safe position and when you're not risking at all. Yes, the same exact rules apply to the purple player as well. The purple player noticed that I'm keep invading yellow, so he probably thought that I'm mad on yellow or so he felt safe and didn't leave any troops from the border against me. But no, I'm not mad and not picking on anyone, I'm just attacking the players who don't guard their continents properly, for the reasons I said before. It's just way too convenient and safe for them. By not guarding properly while mostly just putting their troops to one big army, they don't risk that the balance of the game would be broken in someone else's favor. So if they don't want to risk at all, then I will not let them get a lot of troops at all as well. Actually, I don't understand why they want that. The game would last 5 more hours or so by not attacking each other into continents at all. The purple player finally started properly guarding his borders, but the yellow player only guards against me while doesn't guard against purple at all, so he isn't looking to outsmart the purple player somehow. I see that both of the players are just happy having big continents and are not looking to fight each other at all. But what's the point? The game will just be dragged out for multiple hours, and in the end they will still have to attack each other. So why not just straightly fight each other now, when we know that nobody of us is going to suicide on someone? Personally, I don't want to have a 10 hours game, so if they are refusing to fight, then I have no other choice but do the dirty work by myself, otherwise the game won't be prevented from the stalemate situation. So yeah, I don't know guys. I will probably try to expand once again. I moved the purple player out of South America, so I will go for both of the Americas again. Mine and yellow biggest armies next to each other, so I shouldn't worry too much about yellow invading my continents from the other borders since he really likes to put his troops to one big army all the time. And obviously I will leave a lot of troops next to his army so he wouldn't decide to invade with it. My other borders will be quite weak, so I'm not sure about purple. But since he didn't invade neither yellow's Europe nor Africa a moment ago when he totally could, it would be just strange if he decided to attack me right now after me capturing both of the Americas. As it would be exactly the same, just different continents. So if the purple player doesn't attack me into my continents, then I will find how to overcome the yellow player's possible threats for sure. And if the yellow player just decides to blitz my biggest army with his biggest one, then he will just give away the game for the purple player. Alright, I see yellow decided to invade me from Asia, but I won't let that of happening. It's easy to counterattack that, simply just by fortifying majority of troops from the South American army, to the North American one which guards from Asia. So if the yellow player wants to invade me, then he has to position his army in a place where he would have the access to at least 2 of the borders. For example, if the territory of Scandinavia wasn't his, then having his army in Ukraine would be a perfect place. Alright, so I see I made him finally split his biggest army, and that's quite a big achievement for sure. I just hope these armies won't blitz me, lol. Please attack the purple player, the yellow player says. Well, only after you, yellow. I send him attack request to attack the purple player as well, and as in response he sent me a thumbs down emoji. So I don't understand anymore, what does he want, why to even send me an attack request at the first place? That's very strange, I must admit. Well, the yellow player has finally invaded me. And that's okay. I should have expected to become invaded eventually. But if I were yellow, then I would have rather attacked the other border, the weaker one, or maybe not even attack at all. As currently the balance of the game is very close to being broken. I and yellow combined are only having like 35 troops more than the purple player, so now we should be very careful with each and every of our decisions, as who knows, maybe the purple player will even try taking both of us out right now, since he most likely knows that the attackers have a big advantage when it comes to huge armies, and also he probably knows the advantage of attackers when it comes to balanced blitz as well. But I don't know, he is not necessarily guaranteed to get good blitz rolls. So the risk is always stays. Well, I've just got taken out. Even though I saw the possibility, I didn't really expect that the purple player will go with it. But yeah, he noticed the opportunity as well, so went with it. And that was actually smart, as he had quite more chances to succeed rather than to fail. And with him getting the most favorable blitz roll ever when taking me out, he totally guaranteed himself a victory. Well, good game y'all. Thanks to my opponents for playing, and a huge congrats to the purple player for winning this very tough competition. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then I would recommend checking some of these out as well. Watching more videos will help you to progress so much faster. Highly increase your skills by simply watching Risk videos.